All right. Welcome back. MisFitNation. We are a show founded by a veteran and hosted by two veterans and a military spouse. Our mission is to get people to tell their story to the world. If you're an author, share your tips with the MisFitNation. If you're a musician or actor, our audience needs to know how they too can get into the business. Coaches, we love our coaches. Come on and share some of your tips with the MisFitNation to help them become better versions of themselves. If you're a corporate leader or an entrepreneur, come on and share how you did it and how hard you have fought for success. If you're a veteran, first responder, or Gold Star family, we would love to have you come on and just share your story with the MisFitNation. We always have time for you. If you're feeling down, alone, or starting to see the darkness, stop. Think about those who are around you. You are not alone. You will be missed. If you feel like your problems will be a burden to those in your inner circle or are embarrassed, dial 988. If you are a veteran, take option 1. We need you to keep pushing forward. Don't make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. If you're a new listener, welcome to the MisFitNation. Be sure to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast apps and also on our YouTube channel at @_MisFitNation. Subscribe and click the bell to keep you up to date with our latest episodes and all of our news. You can also find us on Heroes Media Group and About Face Radio. Now, let's get to the show. Welcome to the stage, Dad. Back by popular demand, I should say. So welcome. A lot of viewers wanted to hear more from you and more from your story. So I'm just going to take myself off the camera.
All right.
And we'll talk to you. So some people just want to know more about you. We hit some shorter topics. The other day you were telling us a story of how you actually got the name The Torch. And I think that's one that needs to be shared with a lot of people. So if you don't mind, go ahead and share it.
All right. I worked taking care of collecting governmental affairs, electric bills, and the Statue of Liberty had been behind a month and a half. It was going on 2 months, and I called the woman that ran the bookkeeping, and she says, "Oh, gee, I can't do it because I'm only authorized to pay out a check is $5,000. Anything over $5,000 to go to Boston to be approved." I was giving the number of Boston, so I called Boston. Boston says, "Oh, no, it changed now. I can't do it either. I can only do up to 6, and it's up to 6 already, so you'd have to call Washington, D.C. As this is bull." So I call back the Statue of Liberty bookkeeper, and I tell her, "Look, you're 2 months behind. You're going to be free in about 2 days. This is Friday. I want to check on my desk by Wednesday, or I'm going to shut that torch off." Little did I know, but one of the bookkeepers from Jersey Board of Education was up there behind my desk waiting to give me a couple of checks. And his name was Sam. He said, "All right, I'll see you later, Tom." So I go up the corner to this tavern, have my lunch. As I walk in, everyone says, "Oh, here's Tommy the Torch. She's going to shut the torch off." And it stuck. Everybody after that called me the Torch.
You even had a license plate for a long time.
Yeah,
Tom the Torch on there.
And Sammy was actually a character too, because Sammy, everyone called him Sammy, but his name was John Simonovich.
So also in the studio is Steve, our consigliere. He's on tonight. He's live with us here. So if he has questions, he can jump in as well. So how long did you work for public service?
Wow, 40 years and 10 months.
That's a lifetime.
Oh, yeah. When I got hired, I come home, I told my father, "Dad, I just got hired by public service." He says, "Tommy, that's forever." And he was right, because you need gas and electric. As long as you don't screw up, you got a job forever.
And we were talking about that the other day with the stocks for public service that your dad left to us.
Yeah.
And you were surprised I still had mine. Michelle still has hers, but like we said, something, it's not going to go away. People always will need electric as long as that company's being managed correctly. So that was a gift that kept on giving to all of us, I believe.
Yeah. Well, the company changed a lot of things now. There's no more pension plan, and let's get off that before we get aggravated.
All right. Well, you had a good run there, and one of someone that looked up to you for most of his life was Vinny next door. He works there now. Or when he's not hurt, he works there. So he did. So you did your thing to set up the future of the company with some people that want to work.
Yeah.
So some questions from your granddaughters. Where was Nanny from, and how did she get to America?
Well, she was born in America. She was born in Waterbury, Connecticut. And at 6 years old was an orphan. And she had what I could figure out was, two sisters and two brothers. And after she became an orphan, they would bounce from Connecticut to Rye, New York. From Rye, New York to Chinatown, New York, where the section they were in was an Italian section, then to downtown Jersey City. She got a job with Emerson Radio, after graduating grammar school. And in fact, I had her birth certificate, which was signed by her boss from Emerson. I don't know where it is, though. But she stayed with them and then married my father.
Wow. And what's your favorite memory of growing up with Nanny and little Poppy?
Oh, we had a lot of fun. We did a lot of cooking, and she showed me a lot of tricks. And I mean, she would make pasta. The whole table we covered. To put a sheet on the table so you could dry the pasta. We had a grinder that was grind up all the meat to make meatballs, but it was a hand grinder, and you had to tie it to the table, clamps, and turn it and turn it and turn it until all that meat was done, and to put it back in once more again. You'd add, if it's sausage, you'd add fennel seed and other spices, salt, pepper. Sometimes, almost the time, she'd throw hot pepper in it because you had to have hot pepper and everything for some reason. And grind it all up, then put it in the casing, and you had Italian sausage.
I remember that grinder at the house on 60 Jefferson. I remember it there, and I wasn't allowed to touch it because I was the youngest of all the grandchildren.
Yeah, that would take your fingers off. It was that sharp.
She would give me the eye if I came close to it. So
I'll tell you how strong the sausage was. I was gone for 18 months in Germany. I came back and she made homemade sausage, which I always loved. I got sick as a dog. The doctor came over the house and said, "Oh, it's probably your appendicitis. You get appendicitis, you're going to have to go operate on. Don't worry, you're still covered by the Army." Well, the next morning, I get up and I still had doubled up in pain. I went to a different doctor. And he says, "You're Tommy, right? Did you just come back from Germany?" I said, "Yeah." "You were in the Army?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Your mother made the sausage, right?" I said, "Yeah." "That's what it is. Your body's not used to that kind of food anymore." He says, "It's high spice and you've been having a bland diet." And sure enough, that's what it was. I stayed away from that for a while and I was okay.
And this is loud. Well, I guess let's go back to our fourth question here is, what is one food you wish you could have Nanny make for you right now? And do you know how to make it?
Well, I love the meatballs. I can make them, but not near as good as her. No, I couldn't do like that.
Yeah, I remember going, we'd walk up there on Sundays up to Jefferson Street, and we'd eat for, it seemed like the whole day. You get there, and she had the antipasto out and all the hors d'oeuvres and such, and we'd eat. And if you didn't eat, you were yelled at. If you ate too much, you were yelled at, because you had to save room for the next course. I remember eating a lot at her house.
Yeah, she would make a big batch of meatballs. On Thursday, she would give them out to the mailman or anybody else that showed up at the door that had sandwiches waiting for lunch.
I remember later on in life when the cops came to the house for the taxes, and you got called to come to her, and would she make them lasagna or something to keep them quiet or keep them happy until you got there and then they left?
She gave them lasagna with the two detectives. But we caught the woman that stole the money.
Someone was detected at your front door.
What's that? The way they caught him was we went over the tapes for public service, and my mother recognized the voice, and she never cursed, and she turned around and said, "That bastard." And sure, they caught the woman, they brought her to court, and she wanted to pay, she stole, I think, $400 or $500 for taxes. And she says, "All right, I'll pay $100 a month." The judge told her, "You pay it all now or you're going to jail right now."
Wow.
And she got the money and paid it all.
Well, that's good. And I knew Nanny had a way to make people happy with food, and we knew that worked that day.
Yeah.
Lexi's last question was, how long did you own the bar, and what was the best part of it?
Well, I owned the bar for a little over 2 years. It was a lot of work. I don't know what the best part was. The fun part was New Year's Eve, I got a break. And me and Butchie, who was my partner, had our wives, your grandmother, take over the bar for a while. And these two lawyers come over and they said, "Look, we were getting our drinks pretty quick from your wives, but we ordered scotch and water. All we got was a glass of water with ice cubes in it. So, okay, so we had to go back to the bar."
So they worked themselves out of a job.
Yeah. They were quick, but they weren't in booze.
Roseanne and Arlene behind the bar.
Yeah. Not too good.
Steve, you got any questions?
Yeah, question from Claire. What was it like watching your grandchildren grow up?
Oh, it's great. Great. It was a pleasure. Everything. Memories just flood through. Lexi playing soccer. When I went there to see that, I couldn't believe it. Running up down the field like a gazelle. I never thought anybody could be that fast. She was so fast. Claire with basketball. Oh, gosh. She's in the corner. They throw the ball to her, and this girl was smacking on her through the whole game. And all of a sudden, the girl, boom, hits the floor. And the guy next to me says, "That's my daughter. She mugged her." She didn't mug her. She just dribbled by her, and she fell over her. But those are the fun times. Oh, yeah, so many.
And her next question is, what is your favorite memory of you and Nanny?
Favorite
memory
of you and Mom?
Oh. No. Well, like I said, the cooking was there, but she made me laugh a lot of times. Now she couldn't believe all the girlfriends I had. She'd make fun of all of them.
Our mom.
Arlene.
Oh, Arlene, that mom.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was good too.
Let me tell you, the favorite. The day I got married, I was in the church with my best man, and here she came. Started going down the aisle, and I said, "Butchie, look at her." He goes, "Yeah." I said, "She's beautiful." I said, "She's going to marry me?" And the priest says, "Well, Tommy, the door is still open. If you're afraid, just run at the door." And I did. And I stayed here forever. And I was glad I did.
When we grew up with Uncle Butch and Aunt Roseanne, how did you meet Uncle Butch? Was it in high school or something?
Well, Uncle Butchie, I met him in high school. He was younger than me, and he was looking for a job. And I was working in Woolworths. It's a store. There's no kind of store like it nowadays. They called it a 5 and dime because everything was 5 cents and 10 cents, similar to your dollar store now. And I took over, and I was the dishwasher. And the guy that I took over for went in the Navy. He graduated same high school. Now, I got promoted to work in the kitchen, and I told Butchie to get an opening. And he took over the dishwashing job, and I took over pots and pans and making pies and other silly things like bacon and stuff like that helped make everything really.
And I mean, that was a relationship that really lasted until I think
I guess we were 15 years old, and the first time we met, and then we stayed together long time.
He went on to be a JC a policeman for his career.
Yeah, there was when he went on. Well, I was there first night, turned it down twice, and then him and 6 more of my friends all went on at the same time.
Wow.
And they all were offered, when they hit their 40s, 45 years old, a buyout. They would get 5 years added on to their pension, 5 years added on to their age, so they could retire early.
Oh, wow.
And they all did it. They all took that out.
So it was probably cheaper to do that for them and then hire younger people
at a lower wage.
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Oh,
the same thing when you retired. You wanted to get the
smart move.
To save that money. The more they pay the older generation, the less they're making in their
I was making more than my bosses because they were hired out of college and got nothing.
Your time in Germany, a lot of questions came in about that. You had a blast over there. We know that.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part of Germany?
I thought it was beautiful. That was my first. The train was a beautiful ride. Then it was at night and the day break. We were going through the mountains and going towards Munich and then Nuremberg and then Erlangen. And to look out the window and see these beautiful fields. The first thing I said to the guy next to me, look at this. What was wrong with Hitler? I said, he had all of this and he wanted more. This was beautiful. The first thing that hit me, how beautiful it was. And then the different vacations or leaves I took, Birch's Garden. Oh my God, another beautiful place.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you talk so much about Heidelberg. So when I was over there about 2018 or 19, I forget when I went for 30 days. Me and Gwen actually drove up there just to see Heidelberg and the castle. And it was amazing up there. And I can tell why you fell in love with the country there.
Yeah. Yeah. Unreal.
Oh, and the food. The food was fresh and not expensive at all. So cold beer is always good no matter where you go.
But when I was there, they never had cold beer.
That's right.
It was room temperature. The sergeant we had, if we had something to do in the barracks, he would bury a case in the snow and then bring it up a couple hours later so it would be cold for us.
That hasn't changed in the Army now. So,
yeah.
So I know we talked last time about places you traveled the most you like to go to. You took Mom on her first plane trip was probably the longest plane trip you could ever take someone on their first trip was to Thailand.
Yeah, 22 hours or 23 hours. And we were both smokers. And I guess the first stop was Seattle, which to me was filthy. But that was the first thing the guys, would you like to go to an area where you can smoke? And we did. And then from there, it was a long ride. That one, what's that island that the Chinese are trying to take over?
Oh, Taiwan.
Taiwan, we went there. And that was a beautiful airport. And we had a place we could stay in there, too, because Tommy belonged to our club. So we got free sandwiches, free beers. And we were told to buy booze, duty-free booze for Uncle Tut. That was the uncle that we were going to meet. So we did something that was like $26 here was $6 there. It's a big difference in price. But that's a long ride. My gosh.
And you take some long car rides in the States, especially like when Lexi was born, you guys drove down from here and wound up on the wrong road.
Oh, yeah.
You took the wrong 40 in Indianapolis instead of instead of Tennessee. So how was your road trips? How did you pack the car and how'd you go?
Well, that one was the first horror one because we were in Tennessee and we weren't giving us directions. In fact, it was almost like 9 o'clock at night. We went to a liquor store and this couple get out of the car in front of us, an older couple. And we were in a black neighborhood, and there was black kids there, and the woman went over and talked to your mother, but the man would not talk to me, and she said to your mother that he doesn't talk to white men. But he did give directions to the young guys that were there, and they gave it to the woman, who gave it to me, and go under the overpass. It said, and turn at Gray's house. And I did do part of it. I don't know where Gray's house was, but the first house after the bridge, I made the turn. And I lucked out. I was on the right road, and I saw the signs for the fort. And what was the name of the road you lived on?
Cunningham Lane.
Well, there was like 6 of them or something.
Yeah.
There was lane, there was
Drive.
road, there was drive. And I said, this is it. It was 10 o'clock. I said, I'm tired. I go knock on that door. That's got to be it. She said, sure. I said, oh, yeah. And you opened the door. And that was the first time we met Lex.
That's when you and Mom stayed in that
Oh,
seedy motel that was out
We
there.
saw that on Cops. 2 years later on Cops.
Yeah, that was the hotel's still there. But,
Yeah.
everything around it has changed. I'm sure the hotel's still the same way it was when you stayed there.
Right across the street, and that was that, well, they called it a barn, but it was a gun shop.
Yeah.
As big as a barn. And
Well, it's a bar now. A bar or a barber shop bar now.
Oh. And they were having a sale right next to us. We walked in, they had the Confederate flag over the table, and they're selling rifles right off the table. I said, I guess it's legal to buy a rifle.
It's a little different down there than it is up here.
Yeah. No, the people were very friendly to us.
And make some good barbecue down there. So
Oh, yeah.
you can't go hungry in the South. Steve, you have any more questions?
Well, speaking of trips, as you look at how people travel today and all the security features, when we travel to see, say, like the Staten Island Ferry, and we all packed in Butchie's station wagon as under a blanket in the back.
Yeah.
In the back, not
Yeah.
even seatbelt in.
Yeah. No belts then.
What are your thoughts on safety back then?
Well, the best thing about that day was they had a truck alongside the car that had taps in it, and I reached out and got a glass of beer for me, a glass of beer, and we drove right out to the Staten Island Ferry. You don't pay nothing. It was great.
It was always paid by the car loader. We were under
Yeah,
blankets in the back of the station wagon as you were driving down the road because there's only 2 people in the car.
Yeah, that's all it was.
What, 4 or 5 of us under the blankets?
Yeah. Well, the only one that got lost that day was him. Richie goes behind this gate and closed the gate. And now he's on one side and all the family's on the other side. The cops going, you can't be out of that gate. And I'm telling him, my son's over there. His son's over there. How'd he get over there? I should close the gate on him and he's on the other side. Well, we have to wait till so many people get off the dock and then we'll have the gate so you can get them. He says, yeah, sure I do. Well, you know it didn't wait.
That was with the 70s celebration.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I remember this. I remember the fence. I remember getting yelled at. Yes.
And we went out on the ships, and we went out on the Staten Island Ferry, and we could see the ships. My God,
All
what
the
a
tall
view.
ships, yeah. The Navy ships were out there.
And
tall
all this
ships.
was next to nothing for money.
Yeah, but I also remember like going 4th of July, getting on the turnpike train to get to Liberty Park and working on the turnpike and walking.
Yeah.
Because there was so much traffic. You just get the car.
Yeah.
You can't do that today.
No.
No. Well, in Liberty Park, we used to go down bright and early on 4th of July and have with the jetty. We had the one jetty, I think it was the second one,
Yeah.
that we
it
always
was.
set up and have the best spot, barbecue all day, fish, crab, and then drink, of course, and fireworks at night, and then try to drive out of there at night. Was the hard part. Just driving from there to here today, it took us 60 minutes, an hour to get from Liberty Park to here.
Holy Christ.
Yeah. And most of that was just maneuvering through Jersey City.
And all new skyrise house.
Oh, yeah. I seen we drove by your pastor, St. Richard's on the Hill, Dickinson, and Philippine Bread House is still there. And then that new weird courthouse thing they built, it looks like something out of a horror movie, I think. But it's across from the old courthouses. And I was just thinking of all the things that are in that room that are now closed, like Maloney's just closed. Monteleone's is gone now.
Maloney's is gone too?
Yeah, Maloney's just closed. So
wow.
What are some of you've seen a lot of things come and go. A lot of those things in that area were part of our family. We could
Pick and pay.
Yeah, Pick and Pay right there.
Their son was my doctor out here.
Right. Buster Brown.
Buster Brown, yeah.
Yeah.
We have to wear those little gummy shoes we have to wear to school.
He went in the store to buy me a pair of socks and asked the guy for a box and to wrap it for Christmas. You could do that then.
Yeah.
Now
you get charged.
Yeah.
What are some stores what was your favorite butcher market that you got to go to up in the Heights there?
Well, we didn't really have to go that much because my father worked for Armor, so he would bring home meats. Ham, all kinds of pork products we got, and every once in a while beef, but mostly hams and bacon, of course, all the time. There was another odd story, a fire at Armor's, and the fireman went in, and they had the ambulance show up, and they put my father on a stretcher and loaded him under a blanket with hams and brought him out. The whole farm got hams. And my father come home, and he smelled like smoked ham. And I said, well, what happened that they did that? Well, the freezer door was closed on my hand and broke my finger. The company gave him $200. He didn't want nothing. He didn't want to go to get it. He was afraid he'd get in trouble. But no, they gave him $200 and the ham.
So you and Mom left a legacy, 4 kids. Of course, I said last time you saved the best for last, me. That's where you stopped the thing. Now you have 3 grandkids, 3 great grandkids, lots of grand dogs all across the world. Plus, you also mentored and talked to a lot of our friends as we were growing up on the block, especially. You had Joey in Florida. All the Pugling boys really talk to you.
Yeah.
The Hill kids, they talk to you too. Kirk, Kevin, Keith. So, what part when you were starting out did you think that you would have this big of a legacy to stay forward after your time to push mentorship on was gone?
I really don't know. No answer for that. No.
I mean, it wasn't just, also through scouts too. You taught a lot of young men as they were growing up things that probably would never learned if it wasn't for scouting at that time. Whether it be camping or the Pinewood Derby racing, how to build those little crazy cars and get the weights correct on them.
I met some nice people at St. John's. The group that me and your mother met were Korean vets. They call themselves the Cousins. They actually weren't related. They just happened to be old in Jersey City. And they called them the Cousins. And the Cousins Club, once a year, would run a dance. And they sold out every year. How do you do that? He said, simple. He said, I have a meeting of the cousins, and I tell them, all right, here's what you do. You go out, get 10 people. You get either relatives or people you work with. I'm sure you can get in touch with 10 people. Ask them to bring 10 people if they can. And they'd fill it up. It worked every year. So once I got involved with the dances up there and we started doing that, it worked. I'm seeing you, nobody made this much money. Yeah.
Any part for the audience today to keep them thinking about great things of your past and how they can have a better future with themselves?
Better future. Yeah, I can tell you right now. First thing, don't smoke. I did it for 50 years and it still hurts. I tried to walk like 2 blocks in Montclair the other day, and Tommy had to catch up to me, and I had to hang on to his arm to walk the rest of the 2 blocks because I couldn't catch my breath. And that's what it is from that stupid cigarette. You don't believe it, but eventually it smacks you in the chest and you realize, oh my God, this is what's happening. Well,
so kids, don't smoke. If you make it to 18 without starting to smoke, don't start. It's not a good time.
These vape things, my God, they're just as bad. There's more nicotine probably in them than anything else. They're disgusting.
It's a lot worse. I think more people are addicted to vaping than they are to cigarettes right now.
I see the bus driver when I wait to pick up Tommy and Michelle. He's out there blowing his brains out with the big smoke clouds.
It's this generation's new thing. So
yeah,
it'll phase out to something else in the near future, or probably a little further down the road. Dad, thanks again for hanging out with us and sharing some more of your knowledge with us. Hopefully we can do this again with more questions from the audience.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Did you serve in the military? If so, you can obtain a free lifetime pass to more than 2,000 federal recreation sites. These sites are located across more than 400 million acres of public lands, including national parks, wildlife refuges, and forests. The lands host activities to fit any lifestyle: hiking, biking, fishing, camping, and much more. Gold Star families are also eligible for these free lifetime passes. Plus, they cover entrance fees for a driver and all passengers in a car, or up to 3 additional adults at sites that charge per person. Obtaining one is easy. Just go to the National Park Service website, nps.gov, or the National Park Service app.
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the MisFitNation. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. That's themisfitnation.com. Check out all of our past episodes and get some of that great MisFitNation gear. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling, because we are MisFitNation. MisFitNation. MisFitNation.